Hey quilters, I am working on Forkle number 3, and we're going to talk a little bit about fixing a fudged seam. So just a little confession, sometimes these mistakes that we talk about fixing are actually done on purpose so that I can do a little tutorial for how to fix them, and some of them are organic mistakes, which means I actually made that mistake and then I'm like, okay, so I'll do a video for fixing it. This particular one was an organic mistake. I'm not any more perfect than anybody else. So what is a fudged seam? See how this seam right here, this piece comes out a lot farther, and this seam does not have much of a seam allowance. I do have some holes right here where I ripped out some stitches, and we'll talk about that too, but it doesn't have much of a seam allowance. And sometimes you do that on purpose, because maybe you got a little off somewhere and one piece was a little smaller. Sometimes you do not do it on purpose. So, it happens. And this particular one, I was sewing this from this side and I was lining up those 8 points from that pinwheel. And I did not notice that this was so small until I was done with the block. So you can see in this block right here, I have all of my seams pressed so that that cross-section seam, I had to spin it. But for this one, I could not spin the seams because I didn't feel that pulling those seams apart was a good idea as small as the seam was. So I just pressed this whole thing this way. Now let's talk about how I fixed that. You can see right here, I had initially done another stitch to make that a little bit bigger, but then I took that out because for this particular one, I wanted to line up those points of the pinwheel. So I was going for a very specific spot as far as where I wanted that stitch line to go. And I couldn't hit it with that extra seam. It would make the points on the front not look so great. So what I did instead, you can see right here, I just did this little zigzag stitch. And it's basically kind of serging the seam, and you can make it bigger or smaller, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but you're just kind of doing a zigzag stitch on the edge right here. And that's going to hold that down. If you are worried that that seam allowance was too small, you're kind of going for at least 1/8 of an inch. So I just did that zigzag stitch, and that's going to secure that. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just want it to be going over this edge that's too small and not eating into your seam allowance, which this one is right at the seam allowance, so it's perfect. And you look at the front, and the front still looks good.